Hello again. Welcome to the Peace of Mind in Troubled Times. On behalf of Gaden, Shartse, Thubten, Dhargye, Ling, GSTDL in Long Beach, we very much appreciate all of your goodwill and attendance here. This is a big show. Sometimes we wonder how many peace-loving people out there in the world as we face more troubles. And it has been a while that I have seen so many peace-loving people gather at one place. So round of applause to all of you. Okay, I'm going to introduce Richard Gere, who is going to introduce His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. And here's my introduction about Richard Gere. Richard Gere, Richard Gere, and Richard Gere.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. 10,000 welcomes for 10,000 brothers and sisters here. This is quite a beautiful sight. All these shining faces and people who have come to engage His Holiness the Dalai Lama to discuss things that really mean something to us. His Holiness has been running all day. I've never seen any human being do as much as His Holiness does. He just started at 3:30 this morning. He's been in meetings and teachings all day long. He just left a meeting with Chinese, and I don't even think he got a proper lunch, and then he's rushed over here. And this is what his life is like every single day. But there's nothing His Holiness wants more to do than to help people. And that's very rare for all of us, to be around someone who wants nothing more than for us to be happy. So we've been having kind of a wonderful rain and cool breeze and bright sun of Dharma and compassion and wisdom the last 2 days here. Wonderful, really wonderful initiation and teaching. But now you get a chance to spend some time with His Holiness, who the whole world knows at this point, the whole world loves, the Nobel Peace Prize winner, also the winner of the Congressional Gold Medal, which is the highest medal and citation that the U.S. government can give to a civilian. But His Holiness has gotten awards all over the world for his humanitarian work, for his generosity, for his insistence, total, complete insistence on nonviolence. So, without any further ado, please welcome one of the great ones on the planet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet.
organizer. To organizer, I must thank this chair, very comfortable. I think, according to this chair, instead of talk, I think sleep. Maybe better. So, brothers and sisters, I'm very happy here meeting with you because simple reason. You came here not for some sort of showing or drama or something.
Spectacle.
Or not music. You simply used to come here, I think, want to something, how to tackle our sort of problems or difficulties in our mind. Maybe among the audience, if some come here just out of curiosity, that's absolutely okay. Then, among the audience, some maybe, like some Buddhist, they come here with belief Dalai have some kind of miracle power. That's nonsense. Then, actually, many years ago in London,
Albert Hall.
Oh,
Royal
Albert Hall is one talk. I mentioned there, among the audience, some may have sort of feeling, as I mentioned earlier, just curiosity, that's okay. Some may feel that they don't have some kind of miracle power. That's also not that nonsense. Then some people come maybe hoping they don't have some kind of healing power. Then I told, I myself very, very skeptical about those people who claim they have healing power. So, and then I expressed, if there is real sort of healing power, heal something, some problems, then I would like to show my sort of neck, there's always some itching, this problem. So I would like to heal that. I expressed. So then, next day, I received some ointment for this itching. So there's a real blessing. There's a real healing, healer, like that. So people among Tibetan and also among some Chinese Buddhists, and some mainly I think Chinese Buddhists and also some others are Buddhists. Sometimes they believe I'm truly the living Buddha. That's nonsense. Then in 20th century, some books describe me as a God king. That's truly nonsense. You see, we Buddhists, you see, no concept of God as a creator, firstly. Then a God king is really
Inappropriate.
Ah.
Inappropriate.
Ah,
Contradiction.
Then meantime, some people call me demon. That's also nonsense. I'm simply another human being just like you. Mentally, emotionally, physically, yeah, same. Among emotion, you have anger, irritation, jealousy, attachment. Me too, I also have these things. And also, we everybody have the potential of compassion, affection. Yeah. Because everybody, you see, our life come from our mother. So everybody grown up with mother's immense affection and mother's milk. So everybody, at the beginning of our life, we received maximum affection from our mother. That's, I think, in our lifetime, the most delicate period, very important sort of period, experience received at that moment may remain whole rest of life. So, basically, we start that way. My own case, my mother, very, very kind women, villager women, no education, illiterate, a farmer, and mother of, I think, altogether, including those children die. I think including those, then perhaps I think a mother of 15 or 16 children. So, my mother, very, very kind women, whenever some poor person, sort of come around our small home, whatever she got in her kitchen, all at once give. Very, very kind woman. Then her children, I think we never saw her sort of angry face. We never saw. I often sit telling one story. When I was young, 2 years, 3 years, I'm the youngest, her children. So naturally, mother pay more attention about the youngest, more infant. So often my mother carry me on her shoulder, one leg here, quite comfortable. And then I'm a little bit mischievous or naughty, rare. I hold my mother's 2 ear. If I want to go this side, this way, I do this. If I want to go that side, go like that. I am controlling my mother's also the direction through holding my mother's ear. So that, I think my mother so kind to me, so I become a little bit spoiled, I think. That also with my brother, elder brother, very nice person, very humble soul, Nimju, very humble person. So sometimes I take advantage on him. Instead of, usually you see the elder one, physical also a little bit sort of stronger. So sometimes you see bully younger brother. But in my case, opposite. Younger brother occasionally bully my elder brother. So the point is, we grown up that kind of atmosphere, full of affection, full of compassion. So I'm quite sure today, in my mind, certain amount of feeling of compassion or affection, I think a seed of that come from my mother, and a little bit sort of nourishing, nurturing during those years with my mother. So I'm quite sure, here, perhaps 9,000 or 10,000 people, those people who at that age received maximum affection, in their deep insight, I think better sort of self-confidence, less sense of insecurity. Those people who may be very successful, very good education or very good wealth, but at that period, lack of affection, home where atmosphere of little fear, anxiety. I think those people who grown up that kind of situation, in deep insight, some kind of sense of insecurity and also lonely, because of they received that kind of sort of experience. So they find it difficult to open heart. So always remain distance. And remain distance often create distrust. Since trust is the basis of genuine friendship, so remain distance from other. Those such people, very difficult to find genuine human friendship. So they remain maybe beautiful house, best facility, plenty of money, but in deep inside remain lonely. So therefore, as is my own sort of story, the young age, my mother really is provide immense sort of affection. So that is something very important. So we everybody equipped the potential of compassion. So now, I think problem at young age, these values still quite fresh. Then getting older and remain atmosphere where usually too much competition. And too much competition there, distrust automatically come. So then, and with brain development or education, then these basic human values remain dominant, not further developed. Then the other negative emotions, such as too much sense of competition and desire to cheat, desire to bully, and aggressiveness, these become dominance of our mind, emotion. So that's why I think on this planet, about 7 billion human beings, actually no single one want trouble or problem. Entire 7 billion human beings, everyone really want peaceful life, happy life. Nobody want trouble. Then among the trouble or problem which humanity facing, major portion of the problem which we are facing is essentially man-made problem. our own creation. Obviously, these sort of violence, not only in 20th century, but even this century, still some violence, organized violence, still there. Then, in city or in community, sometimes unexpected violence also happen. And younger generation, sometimes in school, also is some violence also happen. Then some other form of violence, corruptions. And also, I think, neglect or not pay serious about this gap, rich and poor. These, and also neglect taking care about the environment, about weather,
Global climate.
global warming. So these, due to that, some extra problems. These essentially man-made problem, our own creation. So missions never create problem, but depend on user. We use technology wrong way, it become additional sort of source of disaster. Use properly, immense benefit for human life. So therefore, all these problems essentially, ultimately related with our, the inequality, lack of sense of responsibility, lack of concern of others' well-being, just think oneself. And in order to short-term gain, no hesitation to exploit on other, take advantage on other, bully on other. So, judging this way, we can see a lot of problems, essentially our own creation. Then also, our sort of intelligence. Basically, we human beings, good potential of intelligence. But if our emotion, negative emotion, become very strong, then our intelligence, you see, we cannot function properly. Because too much emotion, such as attachment or hatred towards closer friend, attachment. So with that, you can't see the faults of our friend. Enemy side, because of hatred, anger, even good things you cannot see. Everything of our enemy, you can see something negative because our mind is biased. So, in order to know the reality fully, the subjective mind should be neutral. So, emotion very much sort of was the harmful hindrance carrying our intelligence properly. So that without sort of the objective the view about the thing, then our method or effort become unrealistic, underestimate survey, sometimes exaggerate.
Sometimes we exaggerate and sometimes we underestimate the reality.
So then, no matter what goal, the method, unless carry method, realistic method, you won't get satisfactory result. Clear. That's the law of causality, law of nature. nature law. Even some sort of external sort of flower or these things, they're wrong temperature or lack of water, too much water, less water, or not sufficient water, then it's very harmful to develop the sort of proper
Growth.
growth. So everything must be realistic, to fit according to the reality. So therefore, as I mentioned earlier, nobody wants problem, but a lot of problem. Why? We often follow wrong method. As a result, fail to bring our goal, like that. The other day I mentioned, even you want to do something negative to someone, first you must study about their sort of the situation and find out their weak spot. Then try to hit their weak spot. Then, you see, you really get satisfactory result. Without knowing the weak spot, and even you try your best, may not achieve. So everything, we must be realistic. I think some animals, when they doing something, sometimes we feel love because they just seeing sort of
Only the
immediate thing,
environment.
not seeing beyond that. So they want something they want, or something to overcome avoid their problem, but often fail. So when we seeing such things, we feel pity. Then we ourselves, we have this sort of potential there, still without using that properly and doing wrong way and suffer. It's really pity. We have this marvelous human intelligence. This must use maximum way. So research, investigation is extremely important in every sort of time, every field. Very, very important. So in order to carry research or investigation effectively, properly, we have to look that thing from various angles, not one dimension. You can't see the reality fully. You must look from all dimensions, 4 dimensions, 6 dimensions. Through that way, you get a better picture of the reality. So in order to do that, your mind must be calm. And whether good or bad, whether things according to your wish or not, doesn't matter. You have to see the reality. After sort of full understanding about the reality, then your method will become realistic. So here, human intelligence and human sort of willpower here, these something I feel something quite good gift for human being. So now we have to use, first we let grow these things properly, then use these properly. Through that way, our goal, happy life, will achieve. Machine cannot produce happy life. Money cannot buy happy life. Happy or happiness, on pain, or unhappiness, ultimately related with mental experience, not just a physical level. So here, I often telling, I think that's important. Firstly, make distinction, sensory level experiences and mental level experiences. We often mixed that. Mainly, we talking or concerned about sensory level experience. Now, for example, when I look the sort of audience here, my eye consciousness actually see from here up to here. But my mind focusing one person, even one person's face, one place of the face. So, the point where our mental mind focusing, you get clearer picture and memory develop later. Simply seeing.
So simple seeing need not necessarily lead to the ability to recall. So it's in some sense become inattentive perception.
And then also, we have the experience. Sometimes physically very much tired and exhausted, but mentally still very fresh. Still, get deeper satisfaction out of physical exhaustion. Even it's a physical illness, a physical pain, sometimes bring deeper satisfaction on mental level. Other hand, physical level, very comfortable, healthy body, no illness, but mentally, too much worry. So, a lot of pains on mental level. So we can see two levels of experience. One experience on the physical level, seeing, hearing, touch, smelling, taste, like that. Another experience, without relying these things, simply from mental level, about past memory, some thinking, and get some pains and satisfactions in mental level. So mental level experience more superior, more stronger. Reason, mentally happy, then physical difficulties or pains can subdue. Opposite, mental pain cannot subdue by physical comfort. Other animals, they mainly, their life mainly depend on sensorial experiences. We human beings, we have this intelligence. So therefore, our mental experience is much more stronger, much more sophisticated than animal experience. So therefore, we have to recognize when we say, we want happy life, then we must keep in our mind two levels, sensory level and mental level. Between these two, mental level is more important. Therefore, we simply contented some sort of pleasant experience on sensory level, seeing something nice, including television, and then hearing music, and good food, good sort of shelter, good sort of facilities, and just content there. You have best facility for happy life. This is wrong. Still, unless you take care about mental level, you can be all the facility, in spite of all these good facility, still you will be very unhappy person. I have some sort of friend, very rich and good fame, very, very educated, but still, as a human being, unhappy. One time, I had sort of some experience. You see, one day, a long drive with such person. At the beginning, of course, exchange some nice greetings or words. Then, gradually, he expressing his real sort of worry or feeling. And he told me, in spite of all these facilities, he, deep inside, a lot of sort of frustrations or lonely feeling. So therefore, he always prefer remain lonely. This clearly shows all the facilities there, but something wrong on mental way of thinking. So that person is a suffer a lot. So during that period, firstly I share his problems, and then also I also mentioned my own sort of problems, not only just one occasion, but years. Then I told him, in spite that, there is some other things, the inner sort of strength or inner views. Then later I was told that person much changed. So these things, they much depend on their mental thinking, mental level experience. So now here, we are 21st century. In spite of many material development, and the world generally, comparatively, quite peaceful. After Berlin Wall disappeared, eventually the real threat of nuclear holocaust almost gone. So overall, I think quite safe. But still, there are a lot of problems. So we, in the beginning of 21st century, we humanity, still there are a lot of problems. And how to deal with these problems? Physically, of course, important, but mainly mental level. If you develop proper sort of mental attitude, mental view, then no matter what your surrounding, difficult surrounding, you can keep peace of mind. Your daily life, day and night, your mind peaceful, calm. Other hand, here, too much worry, too much anxiety, too much stress. No matter the best facility, you won't get a happy mood or happy life. Then physical health also, more calm mind, including blood pressure, these things become very normal. Too much stress, anxiety, increasing blood pressure. And too much constant worry eventually damage your digestion system, also your sleep. So too much disturbance in mental level eventually ruin our physical health. So that's clear. Now modern medical scientists now realize that, telling us. And obviously, when the doctor advises us, you need rest. Rest means not just lay down your body, not that. Rest means mental level, complete relax. Even uncomfortable area, mentally, complete rest, relax. That's rest. You lay down, very comfortable bed, but a lot of worry, or anger, does not relax, not rest. The very meaning of rest means relax your mind. Completely relax. No anxiety, no worry. So here, that kind of calm mind, very much related with self-confidence. Mental state remains fear, under fear. Very difficult to achieve that kind of sort of calm, or restfulness, relax. So, how to develop self-confidence? Now here, it's quite sort of strange. More sense of concern of others' well-being, more concern of others. That brings self-confidence, inner strength. I think logically, if we study more careful, usually fear, anxiety come from others, not yourself. Or occasionally, due to illness, anxiety, fear. But in most cases, surrounding sort of, how should I say, people, mainly people, you little bit anxiety, distance, and then fear. So that mental state, for that mental state, direct sort of counterforce is sense of concern, sense of caring of others. So I think that's the system. More concern about others' well-being. That brings self-confidence. That creates inner strength. That reduces fear, anxiety, stress. So irrespective whether believer or non-believer, as a human being, these I think we should know. That's the problem. Modern sort of society, the way of life, very much materialistic way. And also the modern educations, also you see, very much oriented about material development. Very much lacking about our inner values. And previously, of course, you see, the inner values is concerned, the religious institution take care. But that religious institution is sometimes a little sort of weaker, then difficult. Then also you see there are so many different religious traditions. The people sometimes, and the worst thing is, the religions also sometimes, often you see, appears some conflict or divisions due to different religious faith. So just a few days ago, it's another sort of, one person is asked me, he does not like religion because religion creates a lot of problems, not only in human history, even today. So he mentioned he has no belief. He rather very critical about religions. We can't blame. Actually, these sort of divisions or conflict not actually not due to religious sort of concept,
Faith, Lama.
religious faith, but the person himself, herself, take one religion and too much attachment, so that that person cannot see the value of other religions. So therefore, he or she simply feel my religion is the only religion or best religion. So some problems, what you call fundamentalist. Then I think in the past history, even today, I think some conflict in the name of religion, essentially not due to religious faith, not due to different religious faith, but rather political power or economic power. So in any way, if our approach about promotion of inner value based on religion, then there are difficulties. That means, firstly, no one single religion, even you see very wonderful religion, but never be universally.
Acceptable.
Ah.
Universally accepted.
So, last at least 2,000 to 3,000 years, the different major religious traditions exist on this planet. So, during those long human history, different religions remain that way. So, no matter what is one religion is very good, but 7 billion human beings never be follower of that same religion, one religion. So it is fact, different religions remain. And also, non-believers also remain. During Buddha's time, even before, non-believers there, still non-believers there will remain. But these also, on human level, no differences. Whether religious-minded or non-religious-minded or even anti-religious sort of belief, still these are human beings. These are our brothers, sisters. And furthermore, we have to live together. And that kind of people, quite a big portion. So their way of thinking also quite effective on our society, on our global level. Therefore, we must find ways and means the message, love, compassion, reach to these people. So now here, India's tradition, last I think 3,000, 4,000 years. In India, already the tradition, the secularism, respect all religions and also non-believers. So that, I think, relevant to today's world. So we have to, we will find secular way approach of promoting these inner values. Inner value itself is common with religious tradition. But the way to approach these through secular way and also can present as a secular ethics, like that. So that's one of my main concern or commitment on human level. As I mentioned earlier, I'm just one of you, one of the 7 billion human beings. Religion, secondary level. And different races, different nationalities, rich and poor, educated, uneducated, all these secondary level. It's quite clear. Many problems which we are facing is due to we too much emphasis secondary level of differences. If we go deeper, human level, then hardly no sort of what's the source of conflict. We all human brothers, sisters. We all want happy life. We all equipped from birth affection. Human affection, like that. So, that's my number one commitment. Second commitment, then I'm talking on the level of I am Buddhist monk. So look, now so far, I think last 53 years, even before, around 1956, I came to India, already quite wide sort of contact, different religious faith, people from different religious faith. So then, more acquaintance, these people, and also study. And then it becomes very clear, in philosophical field, big differences. Even within Buddhist, there are different views. Within Pali tradition, the Vivasek, there are basically 4 different, sector or school of thought. Then further divisions, subdivisions, around 18 divisions. Similarly, in other sort of Buddhist school of thought, like Chitta Mantra, Madhyamika, Swatantika, there are differences. All are Buddhist, but different views there. And in fact, these different views taught by Buddha himself. The major sort of different views are taught by Buddha himself. So, it's quite clear among humanity, there are, because of so many different mental dispositions, so we need different variety of way of thinking, philosophical sort of views. It is necessary. So, among the different religious traditions, there is different sort of way of philosophical thinking. But all carry same practice, same message. That is practice of love, compassion. With that, forgiveness, tolerance, and self-discipline, contentment. So, these things, all world major religious tradition, same. We find among Christian brothers and sisters, as well as Muslim practitioner of Judaism, practitioner of different Hinduism, Jainism. There are wonderful peoples who totally dedicated their life for well-being of others. And as a matter of fact, on this planet, I think the greatest contribution about education, health, I think done Christian brothers sisters. Very clear. So, their sort of enthusiasm, their willpower to carry such sort of dedicated work come from their own faith. So, all major religious traditions have sort of same potential to provide inner strength through practice of love and compassion, forgiveness, like that. So, there are, in spite of different philosophical view, actually all carry same message, same practice, and also aiming all meant for the well-being of humanity. So therefore, there are common grounds and common goals. So, different method, different philosophy is necessary, out of the reality, according to the reality. So, when we see different philosophical view, then we must think, what is the purpose of these different philosophical views? Then same purpose, to serve humanity, variety of humanity with different mental disposition. Therefore, we need different philosophical views like that. So through that way, we can promote genuine religious harmony. So these two commitments is my lifelong commitment till my death. Now already nearly 77. So next perhaps 10 years more, or 20 years, or 30 years, I fully committed these two. Now here, my brothers, sisters, let us make constant effort to bring happier humanity, peaceful, happier, peaceful, ultimately led with warm-heartedness. So let us try to build compassionate world, not through above, or like United Nations, or federal government, but each of you as a one individual human being. First, you individual, try to create inner peace. Then share with your family members, then your neighbors, then the families who share the same view. The ultimate importance is inner peace. That was the concept or their way of life. Then spread 100 families, 1,000 families, 10,000. That's the way to change. And meantime, those people who involved in education field, take some research there, how introduce in modern education system these moral ethics without touching religious faith, secular way. In India, in America also, you see there are different universities now already, last few years, you see carrying some experiment sort of project, quite successful. So we have to work with certain vision. That's, I think, very, very important. So that's my main talk. Kasa.
Peace in troubled times.
It's a change the whole world. If come, good, but that's difficult. But firstly, in spite the different sort of circumstances, we can keep peace of mind. That way, you can carry day and life completely restful, relaxed. When I talk people in my age, say in 20s and 30s, when I give talk, then a little nervous because I want something perfect. Then gradually, not that sort of concern. Whatever I feel, I just used to talk. No homework, no preparation. So I just used to felt I'm talking to another my long-time friend. Just casual talk. So that I always carry. That's why, you see, when I talk to you, here, no sort of anxiety or nervousness. When I was in Peking, 1954, 55, and 56 in India, then when we talk, meet leaders, and also to talk quite big sort of audience, public. Of course, in China, not that kind of public, but everything, organized public. In India, like public, but quite sort of nervous. And I remember the first day when our official meeting with Chairman Mao Zedong, myself and my two tutors and some other officials. So we line up. Then you see, enter the hall where Chairman Mao and all those dignitaries stand there. So everybody is a little bit nervous, and particularly my tutor, very much nervous. I still remember his sort of head quite bald.
Bald.
Yeah. So some
he was perspiring.
That still I remember like that. So more sort of what's the tension,
Very tension.
Tension and seriousness, and then more nervousness. And if you think, what deeper, after all we are same. You made a mistake, I made a mistake. A lot of things I do not know, you also do not know. It is silly. I pretend I know everything. It's silly. Nobody believes that. Like that. So one time in Mexico, many years ago, one interfaith sort of service. And then there one Japanese Buddhist. He represents, I think, as a Japanese Buddhism. So as Japanese tradition, while you see he carries some chanting, he do his rosary like this. Then, some way, quite unlucky, lucky, Chungda said.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yes. No. Unfortunately, you see, this thing of the rosary broke. So, it's a bead, rosary, scattered. But still, he still remained like that way. As if nothing happened. He said, I really feel laugh. If I'm his case, I will stop chanting that and pick up. What is it, the rose beads. No. That's more realistic, more helpful. I remember one time in Peking, 54, the early period. One day in my room, the Indian ambassador in Peking came to see me. So some Chinese officials, they are very much so remain very much dignified way.
Yeah, stern.
Stern, very stern. And on the table, see some fruits. And somehow that plate toppled. Then some of those Chinese who at the beginning used to remain like a sekai.
Statues,
right?
Like
almost like a statue. Then no longer that, they you see kneeling on the ground, then picking up these fruits. That's quite good, but big contrast. At the beginning, you see, they remain like that. Then something happened, then they act like human beings. I love that. That's much better. So that's about my talk. So please think. Since we have the same sort of potential, same mental states always, same mind. So think these lines. You may get some sort of new ideas. It's good. That's the purpose of my talk. Yes? No questions?
Your Holiness, you often speak about happiness. However, it seems that our search for happiness brings us much suffering. What are we doing wrong?
I think here, as I mentioned earlier, firstly, you recognize happiness, prosperity, good name, these things. So you are searching. Suppose you see everybody run after money. So you have this saying, or say, time is money, money is time. So you, even in dream, I think thinking about money. So you actually, the way search happiness, mainly the sensory level sort of experience, which I mentioned before. I think that's wrong. That's wrong. Otherwise, I think, I also should try to search sort of happy mental state. I think it is not to exaggerate. I can say my mental state is quite calm, in spite of a lot of sort of problems. Now, one example, about 2-3 years ago, I think 3 years ago, I went through surgery, the gallbladder, because there are a lot of stones. So, at the time of decision, whether I should go surgery or not, I had a little bit anxiety. Then I met a specialist. So I developed full sort of conviction. So that specialist, very nice, not only expert, but also as a human being, very nice. So I developed full sort of confidence. So then, not my sort of anxiety, then on the bed, medical bed, very strong light. Not my sort of anxiety. I just lay down and feel some sleep. Got like that, and then some anesthesia.
And it's anesthesia?
Usually, in normal case, that surgery takes only 15-20 minutes. My case, the gallbladder enlarged more than 2 times, and pus. So a lot of stone. So it took over 2 hours. But then recover very quickly. Within 4 days, almost recover. Then doctor expressed to me, is quite surprising. The surgery itself, quite serious. Unexpected seriousness there, but recover very quick. And then 5 days in hospital, or 5 or 6 days in hospital. Within a few days, the friendship, nurses and doctors, always teasing, joking. After I left, later they told me, they expressed, they very much miss their patient. So really, the mental state, calm, and full trust to each other, and full of sort of friendly atmosphere, affectionate atmosphere. Then mental state, always very calm, very happy. So that's my own little sort of stories like that. So that we can do, everybody, we can do. Yes?
Next question is, what is the single most important thing to practice when developing compassion?
If you have some sort of religious, or say, belief or knowledge, for example, the Christians, Muslim, Jews, you see, there is concept of creator. So believe creator and trust fully, 100%, and dedicate for creator, for God. That also helpful to reduce your self-centered attitude. Through that way, you can easier develop compassion to rest of the creature. That also one way. Then, such as Buddhist believe law of causality, cause and effect, cause and effect. Then believe oneself. Everything, my future, depend on present my action and motivation. So you check your own motivation and your daily action. Basically, you should not develop, you should not carry any sort of emotions as well as action which harming other. Try to develop some kind of the motivation to respect others, to concern others' well-being. Then, accordingly, your action also, whenever there's possibility to help, to serve, you will do. If not, always remain asoda. Never harm other, like that. So that also is a source of development of compassion. Then non-believer, as I mentioned earlier, the modern doctors, the mental state, calm mind, very good for your health. So sometimes our meeting with scientists, we have the slogan, healthy body, healthy mind. This very close link. Healthy mind automatically bring healthy body. Too much disturbed mind eventually very much so spoil our healthy body, like that. Thinking this line, according to your own sort of view, and then think these different ways, like that. That's my view.
Next question is, how do you...
I usually, do combination. Common sense, or common experience, according secular way. Then, on top of that, some Buddhist sort of technique to increase compassion and respect others, like that.
Next question, Your Holiness, how do you see the ancient Tibetan culture helping us in the modern world?
Oh, helping to modern world, I don't know. In fact, it is true, Tibetan Buddhist tradition, if you study sufficiently, then it is very clear Tibetan Buddhist tradition is pure tradition of Nalanda institution, where most top the scholars, thinkers, philosophers of Buddhism, and particularly Sanskrit tradition, that is usually called Mahayana tradition. So that includes not only Buddhist religion as a religion, but also I usually call science of mind and logic. These two things, science of mind and logic, is universal, just an academic subject. That I think, some extent, I think in education system may be adaptable, right? May be useful. Last year at Dharamsala, one occasion, our meeting with scientists. One scientist, he noticed the Tibetan, or say the Buddhist, or say logical approach about investigation. He very much impressed. He expressed his wish is that kind of method, if possible, used in modern education system. He mentioned like that. Otherwise, Buddhist tradition meant for Buddhist, not for non-Buddhist. One day, some years ago, I have very, very close spiritual brother, spiritual friend, one Catholic monk, one American. He actually practiced some Buddhist techniques in order to develop compassion and forgiveness. So one day, he asked me about concept of emptiness. Then I told him, this is not your business. This is Buddhist business. Don't ask that. I told him. So then, you see, better to keep one's own sort of belief, one's own tradition. Mixture, all things, and then may confuse. Not good, like that. But these two other philosophy, science, these are universal. So in any way, as far as Buddhist world is concerned, Tibetan Buddhism, Buddhist tradition, is, I think, most complete, profound Buddhist tradition, because it directly comes from Nalanda. And all our texts, which we study, years, at least 20, 30, 40 years study, these texts mostly wrote by Nalanda thinkers or philosophers, like that.
The last question?
No hurry.
No hurry, okay. There are many positive and negative aspects of living in the West. What do you like and what do you dislike about the West?
Oh, West, I think that word too generalized, right? Firstly, I do not make distinction West and East. Hardly not much sort of independent sort of demarcation. Actually, we Eastern, also the running, catching up.
Trying to catch up.
Now in China, for example, Chinese, through decades, they say American imperialist, but now they are catching up American lifestyle. So, and the important is human being. There, Easterner, Westerner, Southerner, Northerner, same, exactly same. Our lifestyle a little bit different, more with technology, more
Better facilities.
Better facility, like that. Otherwise, not much. But overall, America, multicultural, and and also some extent multi-religious, and really democratic country. I really love America. Very good. And your people, quite straightforward. We easily get along. Easily. That's good. Some Germans, some Englishmen, not like that. And Japanese also. But Italian, a little bit easier, like that. So in any way, America, the greatest democratic country, you must succeed. And I often telling in America and also in India, most populated democratic country. So these two countries are very, very essential, very important. Of course, Japan and some other democratic Asian countries, Japan, industrialized Asian countries, very important. Now China, I'm looking forward, China, most populated nation on this planet, very important. So now, this is a closed society. There's nobody's interest. China must open. Then become truly citizen of the world. Closed society, not good.
Your Holiness, the question is this. Obviously, the world is out of balance.
Out of balance.
Out of balance. Out of
Out of
balance.
balance, huh?
How did it get so confused? Or has it always been like this? How can we help?
Current imbalances. 네. 좋아. I think our lifestyle and also I think some extent I think socialist idea also I think good, helpful. I always describe myself as far as socio-economy theory is concerned, I'm Marxist. Certainly I am not Leninist. I don't like Lenin. Lenin, too much power, like that. That I don't like. But Marxism as an idea, thinking the right of working class people, that is needy people, that also majority people. So Marx economy theory, serious concern, equal distribution, not just thinking profit. So that's good. That's some moral principles in economy field. That's good. So in capitalist, mainly thinking profit. But in democratic, with rule of law, some regulations, and also independent unions, these also make more balance. Also good. But at the same time, we human beings, our intelligence, sometimes you see find some ways, although you see there is rule of law and certain sort of regulations, but some way we go like that. So the important is individual spirit of self-discipline. For that, sort of, what's the moral principle, moral ethics, that we really need. That we must make every effort so that our whole generation, whole society, you see, built on the basis of moral ethics, moral principle. Then leadership come from that. Politicians come from that, also becoming more,
Wiser.
principle-minded people. So that's the way to change. And after all, world always changing, always changing. In the past century, 20th century, beginning of 20th century, and later part of 20th century, American lifestyle much, I think, change. And your habit also must change. Everywhere. I think my own village or how to say, India, now last 52 years I spent there. In 60s, 70s, Dharamsala, and today, 2010, 11, 12, much changed. So lifestyle change, and the whole sort of facilities are changing. So the material side have to change, will improve. Now, meantime, unless we pay more attention about moral ethics, that material change also create more opportunity corruptions. So that's important. Like that.
What is the most suitable way to handle intolerance from others?
Intolerance, others. Now here, I would like to make clear, the tolerance does not mean, or tolerance and forgiveness does not mean you accept others' wrongdoing. As far as their wrongdoing, their wrong action is concerned, sometimes it is very necessary to take countermeasure in order to stop that. Not out of anger, hatred, or ill feeling, but out of sense of concern of their own well-being. So, out of sense of concern, you should take a countermeasure in order to stop that. The real meaning of forgiveness is because of their wrongdoing, unjust doing, you should not develop anger, hatred, or ill feeling towards the actor. Now here we must make a distinction. Action, actor. Actor side, keep compassion, respect. Action side, appropriate countermeasure. So make distinction. That's the real meaning of tolerance and forgiveness. And logically, if you forget their wrongdoing, then no basis of forgiveness. You must keep in your mind their wrongdoing, wrong action. And in spite that, not let negative feeling towards them. In fact, out of genuine sense of concern, their own well-being, countermeasure. Like kind parent, you see, towards their children. And to a student, some sort of kind, sort of responsible, sensible teachers. Sometimes use little harsh attitude, harsh words. Not out of anger, hatred, but out of sense of concern. Like the teacher, as I mentioned earlier, in front of Chairman Mo, become very nervous. That teacher, when I get lesson, he always show quite stern, very stern. And also, you see, keep one whip. When I carry study, at early period, my elder brother also with me as a monk. So we both studied together. So my teacher kept 2 whips. One whip, ordinary, one whip, yellow whip. Suppose out of these two students, one normal, one suppose holy student. So holy student, holy whip. that's a yellow holy whip. But I already know if yellow holy whip use, I don't think any holy pain something different. No. So therefore, out of my fear, although myself no interest for study, but because of the whip, I study. So that kind of my tutor's action, not certainly out of negative feeling, but with full of respect and full of concern, and use that method. So, see, we can take countermeasure with genuine, sincere, out of sense of concern of their well-being. That is a truly practical, realistic practice of tolerance or forgiveness. If you forgiveness means just to say, accept whatever they've done, then actually spoil them like that. I think, if may I say so, the communist totalitarian sort of system, originally good, but then nobody dared to criticize. If criticize come, immediately you see, suppress. So therefore, full of hypocrisy. Like one I think a cinema or something, yes, minister. Everything, the superior asked, then yes. That I think in 1987 or 86, 87, some serious crisis in Lhasa happened. So the Jonathan Muskie, I think Gaden reporter, Gaden, I think. Observer, yes, observer reporter. He came, Dharamsala, I know him, so he asked me, why is the Chinese get some irritation from you? He asked me. Then I told him, I'm not acting like yes minister. So that's why you see they got some angry. He laughed like that. So actually, Chairman Mao Zedong, when I was in Peking, he often used to say, the communist should receive criticism from others, from oneself, self-criticism. Otherwise, like fish without water. Very good statement, very good sort of thinking, slogan. But then, 57, he sort of opened some kind of meeting, the 100 flowers, let 100 flower bloom. Then a lot of criticism come. Then all flower become weeds, sange.
Then the flowers turn into weeds.
So worthwhile to remove. So quite often I teasing with some Chinese friends. We are here in free country, in India. We sincerely following Chairman Mao Zedong's sort of statement. We receive criticism, others, and also self-criticism. There are slightest criticism, and then suppress. So like that. So therefore, you see, they respect others, and appropriate way criticize. That's okay, like that. Good, thank you.
Your Holiness, thank you very much for sharing intimate stories about your childhood and also making us understand the difference between sensorial pleasures and mental happiness. And I hope everybody will keep that advice in mind and put it into practice. Could I have a moment, please? His Holiness always expects the organizers to be transparent about accounting. So Gaden Shartse Thubten Dhargye Ling, as an organizer of this event, we are very happy to be transparent about our accounting. So I would like to invite Mr. Doran Harper, CEO of our accounting.
Welcome to you all, and thank you, Your Holiness, for allowing me a few moments to speak on behalf of our center, Gaden Shartse Thubten Dhargye Ling. First and most important for all beings, we give Your Holiness a heartfelt thank you for your bestowing precious teachings, blessings, and sharing your wisdom with us. On behalf of us all here, we wish to thank the following. Losang Nyandak and the Office of Tibet in New York, and His Holiness's office and entourage who travel with him tirelessly around the world when he appears with people. Our spiritual director, Ken Rinpoche, abbot of Gaden Shartse Monastery in India, and our managing director of Gaden Shartse Thubten Dhargye Ling Center in Long Beach, Geshe Losang Sultram. Richard Gere for his unending service to Your Holiness. Gaden Shartse Thubten Dhargye Ling coordinators for their preparation for the visit of His Holiness, who have worked so hard to plan and prepare for this visit. Our sponsors, who have been major financial support for His Holiness's visits, past, present, and future. Our numerous volunteers who over the past few weeks and the last 2 days have done such hard work and great job to help all of us here be happy. To the Long Beach Convention Center and Entertainment Center for providing this incredible transformed venue. Thank you, Charlie, Dan, Frank, Eric, and all for your support and help. Our production team, led by Mr. Mark Bodine, with a wonderful job. To include Panther Productions from Chapman University, our technical company PRG and Sweetwater Video, providing the great audio and lighting and large screen projections and support from the crew of Gaden Shartse Thubten Dhargye Ling. Last but not least, I want to thank the U.S. Department of State, Bureau of Diplomatic Service and Security. Unbelievable. Their kind, calm, great service for His Holiness's security and well-being. Now, Your Holiness, I would like to report about the money aspect of our SIA Chief Financial Officer. We had a roughly estimate of a gross income from the last 2 days' events in this part here of around $650,000. Our rough estimate of expenses is around $317,000. Leaving an estimated surplus of about $330,000. Now, I want everyone here to understand that His Holiness never charges for his teachings and his lectures, nor does he take offerings. Therefore, the remaining surplus will go to the following. There is the charitable organization called the Dalai Lama Trust for Education and Cultural Preservation Programs. About 40% of these funds left over will go to that. It's around $133,000. $30%, or approximately $100,000, will go to our parent educational institution in India. 15% or $50,000 will go to Gaden, Shartse, Thubten, Dhargye, Ling's 6 special projects. And lastly, 15% or $50,000 will be used as seed money for your Holiness's next visit to Gaden, Shartse, Thubten, Dhargye, Ling. Thank you.
Thank you. 가, 어디? 가다 가시 기쇼. 캠부지 리즈 거도. 야, 캠부지. 야, 캠부지. 가다 가시쇼. 가다 가시. 또. 하나 더 왔다. Thank you. Thank you.